Hey Taurus, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. I'm working on your reading for the first half of March. Couple of things that are kind of funny. I did a few of these videos. I was trying to do the entire month of March, but some of the readings were over an hour, and the energy was so different between the first half and the second half. So I have actually decided to re-record, let you guys see me pulling cards, shorten it up so I could focus on the energy in the first half of the month as we close out this retrograde Mercury phase. A lot of stuff happens mid-month to change the energies. Retrograde Mercury ends, Saturn moves into Aquarius, Venus moves into Taurus. These are major changing of energy here. We move from a place where we're kind of exploring our feelings the first half of the month, closing out some stuff, working on some healing. As Mercury makes its way back through Pisces, it's going to touch into Aquarius early on and in the next couple of days, and then it's going to move direct. So and then 9th. So such different and distinct energies that I think the first half of the month might feel like nothing's really happening, although it is, believe me, it is. And then the second half of the month, things are going to really pick up in a way that you may find really hard to believe. And so I want to be there for you to guide you through the second half of the month as much as this one. So I just want to focus on the individual energy that's coming through for the first week for you, Taurus. Preparing for Saturn to tour your 10th house is a pretty big deal. So this Mars cutting through all of the places that we had the eclipses and the conjunction. Mars is with the South Node right now. If you notice, a lot of outbreak and fears coming out of the coronavirus, which is affecting the stock market greatly. This is all thanks to Mars sitting on the South Node in Capricorn, while Venus is squaring Pluto and Saturn. So there's tough terrain that we're working through right now. A lot of fears are coming up to be healed. I think we're taking care of ourselves better when Venus is in Aries. We're setting our boundaries. We're exercising self-love. That's a focus for the first half. And we're kind of learning how to express our needs. Really important, because we're setting the tone for the rest of the year in these first 2 weeks. No pressure, Taurus. And Taurus, you, as I say in every reading, are entertaining and embodying the Uranus energy right now. And so as Saturn moves into Aquarius and you are hanging out with Uranus, a lot of things might be changing very rapidly for you, Taurus, and in a way that seems very destined. And so I see the need for freedom. Okay, we're coming out of the gate with queens. Lots of queens, which tells me that you are tweaking your energy. We're working on balancing the feminine side of ourselves. Man or woman, you have a feminine and you have a masculine side to you. There is a part of you that has a drive to go out and get. You are the hunter, the provider. You focus on keeping yourself safe. There's a focus on the ego. But at the same time, the feminine side of us is the side of us that allows us to be soft, that allows us to create. It's the side of us that gives and receives the energy. It is the side of us that allows. So if you are a Taurus or you struggle with limited thoughts of what you deserve, well, those have to be fixed, and they have to be fixed now. Because you're moving into a place very similar to Virgo in a lot of ways. And another Queen, my goodness. There's a lot of emotions coming through here. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into this, Taurus, because this feels really good. Coming out, Queen of Swords in reverse. This may be you. I feel like this is your energy, Taurus, and it's telling me that you are way out of your element here. So there is a situation that you're really unsure of. And you're getting very lost in a lot of the negative thinking. There's a lot of worst case scenarios playing out in your head. And it's going to make you feel like you want to run away from this opportunity. I see this as not wanting to move towards anything or making any decisions. I see a lot of anxiety here with the Queen of Swords in reverse. You know, she's out of her element. She doesn't know what she deserves. She's not speaking up for herself. She's not using the discernment. She's not... I see a lack of communication here from a feminine energy. And I feel like it's out of fear, because coming up next to that is the Queen of Pentacles. And so I see an energy in which we don't want to communicate and we don't want to have those conversations, because by doing so, we will disturb the foundation, the stability of whatever this is. If this is a relationship, or maybe it's a job or a friendship or whatever situation we're looking at here. It's general, so there's a need for you to communicate about your feelings, and there's a need for you to drop some of the anxiety surrounding the situation. But you don't seem to want to pay attention to your needs. The Queen of Pentacles, she makes real smart decisions about her investments. She's real strict on who gets her time, who gets her money, who gets her attention. She knows her self-worth. She likes things to be stable. The Queen of Pentacles doesn't do a lot of conflict, you know. This is somebody who works really hard. They show up, they do the things, they make the goals, they cross off the to-do lists, they work slowly, methodically, they plan things. And right now, I think that you are taking a step back from the communication and the feelings, and you're just sort of watching a situation to see how it grows. But there's a problem in that, and that by withholding your feelings for the sake of stability. So if somebody's upsetting you, if somebody's exhibiting some behavior that's making you feel insecure. I think there's a hard lesson in choosing to remain stable and not rock the boat instead of communicating how you feel. And I think that that's what makes all of the difference, because the current situation is the Chariot in reverse. So this tells me that you're blocking an opportunity here. And you're blocking a really strong foundation. You're blocking something really special to come in. And your challenge card is the Moon. So, card of Cancer, Pisces, well, it's really the card of Pisces, which is Mercury retrograde. I think part of this is you're well aware. Please excuse the way that I'm talking. It's retrograde Mercury, and I just can't, the words, they don't come out correctly, and it's making me crazy. So bear with me, please. The Moon is the challenge for you this month, because you're dealing with the unknown. You know, your element really is Taurus, the Queen of Pentacles energy, that stability, that hard work, that dependability, the person that can always be relied on. And it's hard to be that person when there's so much up in the air that's unknown. It's hard to make those investments that you want to make, or that other people are asking you to make, when there's so much that's unknown. And so the lesson, Six of Swords, I feel like you're moving into easier waters. You're moving out of the murky rockiness. You're moving out of the unknown. I feel like information's going to come that's going to either ease your mind or help you make decisions. But I do feel the Moon in the challenge card, you have to open up the communication. You have to say the things that are going to strike up that conversation. And yes, it might bring some kind of conflict. You might have to fight for yourself. You might have to state your needs and maybe even deliver some ultimatums and some harsh truths to some people in your life, because decisions do need to be made. The Six of Swords is very much about the decisions. It's very much about where are we going and who are we taking with us. We're moving on from an old way of life right now, and we know that because of the conjunction which occurred in your 9th house. We know that life is changing. We know that we're starting brand new cycles. There's new beginnings here. And it's a matter of how we want to build the foundations for those beginnings, because the decisions that we make right now, the people that we choose to take with us, they're going to have a big part into the outcome. And so there is a lot of pressure on you to make some really smart investments right now, to be choosy, to take your time and move slowly. Overall energy, Queen of Wands. So three queens on the table. Now, Taurus, if you are a masculine energy and you're juggling, although I really don't see that, but you might actually just have a lot of female energy giving you advice or steering you. People, that energy that is coming through, you might have a coworker that's making you crazy, but you might have a girlfriend or a wife at home that's your savior, your stability, and your rock. You know, these could be separate personalities or people in your life, but I'm just seeing it as pieces of you, of what you're learning to exhibit. So there's a need to open up communications. There's a need to express your need for stability. But the Queen of Wands, she's operating from a place of passion. And I think that's what's going to lead you into the second half of March. I think that Taurus is getting really brave through this process. I think by opening up the communication, there's a period now where we kind of just have to sit back, like I said, and observe the people around us to understand their intentions. And that's great. There's a time to observe, and then there's going to come a time to take action. And I feel like Taurus is going to know when. That the time is not right now, the Chariot in reverse. It's not time to move. It's time to recalibrate and rebalance the structures. Yeah. Really critical time right now, Taurus. I've got an ace, 2 major arcana, and a celebration. So I think that it's really important how you proceed in the next 2 weeks. And I think that it is the not allowing yourself to get into the negative thoughts that occur when we're dealing with the unknown. There are questions that can't be answered, and we're being asked to focus with our intuition. Okay, more of the same came out for Virgo, so a lot of my earth signs are going through the same energy. I think things are getting really real after this retrograde Mercury. This is really beautiful. So beautiful way this is coming out. So to clarify the current situation, the Chariot in reverse, right? So where we're at right now is we don't see growth. We don't see movement. We don't see how this could possibly happen. And yet there's an opportunity for it to happen. There's an offering I see with this opportunity. There's a offering to rebuild a foundation. You may be weighing options in a connection. You might be knowing that, excuse me, there's a knowing that, okay, so lack of a better term, there's shit or get off the pot time. You know, are you going to commit to a situation and build on it, or are you going to walk away and look for the next opportunity? How is this going to serve you? I think Taurus is really bent on where they're going to be in the future, but what's so unusual about this energy is that Taurus is not counting the money in the bank and making the plans and worrying. I think there's a level of freedom here with Taurus. I think there's a level of, I've been so responsible for so long, and now it's time for me to make my happiness a priority in my life. I don't really, and even that's not even coming from the cards. It's just kind of an intuitive feeling like, okay, Taurus, it's time. It's time to make this about you. It's time to make decisions in your life that is going to fulfill you in your heart. It's not about planning for the future as much as it's about enjoying what's to come, picking things that you look forward to, that you enjoy building. There's a lot of freedom in burdens, and it's not the walking away from connections, it's not the quitting of the jobs that I'm seeing. It's just a knowing that you have to start doing things from a place of seeking your true happiness and getting to know what that is. And it's an important time because as we're reaching this area of making this big decision, at this time there's no decision to be made. That's the irony in this. We know that a decision is coming, but right now we're in observation. Mid-March, the decision will be made, the actions will be taken. Right now we're trying to figure out who we are and what we want to do. And so the Temperance card of Sag, there's a delicacy here. And that's why I don't get a really clear outcome. I think the outcome is going to be whatever you want the outcome to be, but again, you don't even know that right now. So I think there's a disconnecting to the outcome. I think there's a disconnecting of the stress that comes with it, and just a knowing that things are going to work themselves out. This is a card of faith, and it's also a card of divine intervention. For all intents and purposes, this connection that you're looking at may not make sense. It may not be good for you. It may not check off all the boxes on your list. It may not be exactly what you had pictured your life to be, and yet it makes you feel good. Okay, because Temperance coming out with the Three of Cups, it makes you happy. It may not be everything that you planned it to be since you were a child. It may not look all the ways that you required it to look, but it is making you extremely happy. There's a reason to celebrate. There's an easiness in this connection. And so the stress that you feel, there's a block on your ability to take this to the next level because you just don't see how it could work right now. And even though there's a lack of belief in this becoming something solid for you, there are signs surrounding it telling you that it is very solid. And this is a firm foundation, and this is a really good opportunity. Somebody could come around and make you an offer when you weren't expecting it. And it really comes from a place of having faith in the universe, Taurus, that the things that you love, the things that you dreamt of, they'll come to you. And they may not come to you in the normal ways, in the ways that you plan for, but they'll come to you nonetheless. Things will be offered to you, but you have to have patience. If it doesn't look perfect at first, don't storm away. Give it time, study it, and allow it to unfold, because there's more here. In the unknown, clarifying the moon, I see a lot of contradictions here. And I see that Taurus is really looking at this in a different way than they've ever looked at anything before in their lives. Now we have a card of Capricorn in reverse, 3 of Pentacles. So the challenge here, the block, because so much is unknown at this time, is that there seems to be a lack of collaboration, a lack of planning. This could also represent dropping of a third-party situation. So if there was options, and this could also be, you know, Taurus was focusing on a certain, you know, say you weren't paying attention to your love life, you wanted to focus on work. You know, there's a lot of energy building up. You're getting ready for Saturn to move into your 10th house. So focusing on work is a typical theme that's going to come up. I think that Taurus is trying to get the personal life in order because the focus is going to drastically shift into this 10th house, the card of your career and of your destiny. So you're getting the final pieces together here in order to get ready to move to a next big phase of your life. And this is a phase of your life that's going to serve you for a very long time. When Saturn begins things, they stick. So the unknown is causing you to not collaborate and build and make the plans and do the things. I think there's a dragging your feet as far as opening up and looking into options and exploring, you know, what are we going to do next? These are the conversations that you have with a cup of coffee in the morning, you know, with a significant other. We have this coming up next month. What are our goals for next year? And there's a lack of collaboration. There's a big elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. There's something that we're very unsure of, and because we're unsure of it, we're having a hard time looking and building the future. We're also not allowing, with this energy, the energy again of the moon, of the unknown, of the things that we don't understand. 6 of Cups in reverse. You're blocking out the fantasy. And yes, that's great. Of course, Taurus, it would be very unlike you to approach a situation just for the fact that it feels good. But there may be an element here that you're not seeing. Again, it's coming with the moon. So I feel like this could be a very significant relationship in that it makes you feel really good. Just like I said, the 3 of Cups. It makes you feel really good. But you don't know if you could trust that. You're not sure if this is real yet. You're trying to decipher between the reality and the fantasy. Okay, I think this Earth signs, I'm sure Capricorn will come up with a very similar idea. There's also an area with this card where you have to drop the past, where you have to understand that that past no longer serves you. There's a point where you have to understand that even if this person looks or talks or does things that remind you of someone from your past, it doesn't mean that that same situation is going to repeat itself. You know, sometimes the universe continues to hand us very similar situations and we fail and we don't close up that karmic cycle, and so in return we get a new person, a different face, same situation, and we have to work out that karma with the next person. So there could be elements in which this resembles something very similar to your past, which causes fear for you. And I think you have to get over that fear. You have to detach yourself from the previous outcomes and realize it has very little and nothing to do with how this will work itself out. And the challenge card is also the Nine of Pentacles. So you're also dealing with an element of, do I really deserve this? I think there's something about this opportunity that seems a little too good to be true. That's exactly what this is. It's almost too good to be true. And so how foolish will you look if you invest in a fantasy and a fairy tale, and then someone comes along like Saturn and says, grow up. You know, you knew this wasn't going to work out. This was obviously, but you know, we're moving into a new phase, and the fairy tale is possible, and it's not too good to be true. And we have to realize that we deserve this, that we've manifested it, and we have a way of manifesting all the things in our life, and then when they show up at the door, we don't want to do them. It's like asking spirit to help you because you want a cake, and suddenly you walk in your kitchen and there's flour and oil and eggs all out on the counter and everything's set up. All of the tools are given to you so that you can bake the cake, and you say, well, but I wanted a cake. I didn't want to bake a cake. I just wanted you to hand me a cake. And so there's an element here where the universe is saying, look, you asked for this, this, and this. And we gave you this, this, and this. And now here's your opportunity to create something from it. Are you going to create something from it? Or are you going to walk away because you can't see the finished product? Six of Swords. Clarified by the Fool. Clarified with the Three of Wands in reverse. That's a whole lot of threes. So we're talking about decisions here, Taurus. We're talking about that stubborn energy that you have, in which you are willing to wait forever for the perfect thing to show up. And that you're starting to realize that being so attached to very specific outcomes, you are really limiting yourself. And so you realize that all you need to do to move to calmer waters, to get to a place of safety and security, all you really have to do is drop all the baggage, is drop the past. You know, you learn the lessons, but you don't have to carry them with you. And so it's like you realize you're no longer waiting for that perfect thing to show up. Something better is going to come. Something's better is going to come. I just know it. This isn't it. I think you're done with the waiting. And I think there's an element in this connection that's making you want to take that leap of faith. And that's exactly what you need to do here. There will come a time, probably close to mid-month, in which Taurus decides to take a real leap of faith. And this is setting you up for these brand new foundations and dreams that you're about to build. I literally have goosebumps. Like, this is really big for you, Taurus. Again, this may not be a relationship. This might be not be a relationship. It could be a job opportunity. It could be an opportunity to move. But all in the same, it's really putting you in a different direction than you thought you would go. But it's a direction that, again, you know, Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles, Three of Wands. a lot of tarot card readers will tell you this looks like a three-party situation. Again, three-party situations are not always cheating. It could just be somebody prioritizing work over love, or, you know, choosing advice from friends over a real love relationship. You know, that kind of dynamic where you're allowing something else or someone else to affect a connection between you. And there is an element of that. But I don't think that it's another person. I'm not picking up any deceptive behavior. I think it, you know, the third party situation could quite possibly be you imagining or predetermining in your mind that this can never work out and not giving it a chance. And I think that 3 is really a symbol of there's you, there's this person, and then there's spirit. And spirit is helping. Spirit is very much involved. Even if it doesn't look like it's meant to be, there's an element where you're continually pushed back together, where you realize that this feels really good. And even if everything in you is telling you that you want to walk away, something keeps you right there. I think there is an element of destiny very much in this connection and this situation. At the very least, there's a very karmic pool. See if I can get you. So your astrology card that came up was Mars. And Mars moving through your 9th house right now, going through, yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love this reading, Taurus. With Mars going through your 9th house, triggering all of those things and those changes, I think now's the time where you know you have to take action. Mars is action. It's going after your dreams and your desires. So there's decisions to be made there. You know, if you allow yourself to take a leap of faith, to jump into something that may not make sense on paper, if you allow yourself to get some balance between your need for stability and your need for connection, if you allow that balance in, if you talk about your needs, Taurus, if you have the big conversations, I think you're going to see what an absolute opportunity and connection this is. Because there is a lot of love here. It is being very much divinely guided. And the Mars card is telling me now it's time to take action. So the events in the next 2 weeks, in the first half of March, could come through as very emotional. Again, there's a waiting, seeing how things unfold here, and there in that time span, there's the conversations, there is the building, the talking about the options, and I think if you allow it, if you drop the baggage from your past, if you overcome all of the outcomes you've kind of carried with you about how it's supposed to look, and, you know, the status of how other people are going to judge you on this, you know, that's always an issue. You'll see that what you have here is something really, really special, because the overall energy is the card of the otter. And I want to read this to you. This is such a special card to me. And this is also a Cancer energy, so you might be dealing with specifically a Cancer. Seeing a lot of water here. So Taurus, your earth and their water, you know, there's like this element of reliability and dependability with you, and I think they're bringing out this part of you that fills you up emotionally. And I think that this person is teaching you how to share and love from the heart. I think they're teaching you kind of an element of unconditional love. And what that means. Yeah. Otter. Unobstructed joy, playfulness, and contentment. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child, available to us at any age. They have a giddiness and reverence for life itself, without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these situations and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. It's here. When in balance, full of love and needs nothing. When out of balance, they are gloomy, sighs, and make silly excuses. And to bring into balance, a dance party or celebration. Oh gosh, Taurus, I think you're in a situation where you have no idea what's going on. You're starting to really develop a part of you emotionally that you weren't prepared for. But I think there's going to come a time in the next couple of weeks where you have to decide whether you're willing to fight for this or not. Mars card. And I strongly suggest that you really consider your options here and you don't allow your decisions to be based on fear, on the unknowing, just because it doesn't look like it would work out perfectly. That this union is so divinely guided. It's so important to your emotional development, your learning connection here, Taurus. It can make you feel uncomfortable. A love like that can make you feel vulnerable and exposed. There's an element of that in the Virgo reading as well, if you're dealing with a Virgo, if you have Virgo placements as well. There's a need to fight for this because you're learning emotions and connection from this person, and it's really, really beautiful. So Taurus, take it easy on yourself. You may be asking to break some of your rules, but I think in the end, by breaking the rules a little bit, you're going to realize it was a good decision. That by allowing yourself to open up to something new and different could bring you a lot of emotional fulfillment you didn't even know was possible. All right, Taurus, I want you to have a wonderful first half of March. I'll be talking to you very soon. And in the meantime, be kind to yourself. Be really kind to yourself. And know that you deserve that love that's being offered to you. You absolutely deserve it. Have a great day, Taurus. Bye.